Is going on, guys? Welcome to Outside the Brand. This is your AEW Dynamite post show for September 6th, 2023. I'm your host, Phil, and of course, this is Outside the Brand. Thank you so much for joining me right here on your Wednesday nights, wherever you may be. Guys, all roads lead to AEW Grand Slam in just a matter of 2 weeks' time. And guys, we got ourselves a tournament to get ourselves a number one contender for MJF in the AEW World Championship. MJF will be defending his AEW World Championship in New York at AEW Grand Slam. And we're going to be going over every single match that is going to be a part of this tournament. 2 of them already happened tonight. And Darby Allin and Nick Wayne. That happened in the main event, and Rodrick Strong took on Trent Baretta in one of the first few matches of the night tonight. We're going to be going over the rest of the bracket. We are going to be, just going over the brackets, seeing what you guys think about the whole thing. The tournament is very predictable. The tournament is very, very predictable, but at the end of the day, it is a tournament to get to a world championship match that is legitimately 2 weeks away. So it is what it is, I guess. Now, other than that, on the show tonight, we had the build for another possible Grand Slam match between Hangman Adam Page and Swerve Strickland. I think that could be absolutely fantastic. I love Hangman Adam Page. Now that CM Punk is gone from AEW, we can finally get some Hangman Adam Page on AEW television. And, Swerve Strickland, he's easily one of the best things going in AEW right now, period. I absolutely love everything that Swerve Strickland is doing. The whole I love the whole swerving thing that Prince Nana does as Swerve is just all serious and he goes to the ring and Prince Nana is just doing the swerve dance. It's absolutely great. And, Swerve and Hangman, give me that. I want to see that. So that's going to be awesome to see. We also had 2 championship matches tonight, open challenge championship matches. So John Moxley defended the International Championship in his first real defense as a champion, going up against AR Fox, and then Kris Statlander defended her TBS championship against Emi Sakura, and obviously both championships retained. And I will be giving you guys, I'm going to be going on a little bit of a rant when it comes to that part of the show because, those first 2 matches. Those are the first 2 matches of the night tonight. So I'm going to be going on a little bit of a rant when it comes to that sort of a deal because these open challenges just have to fucking stop. They have to stop. They can't keep doing this for much longer when it comes to the International Championship and the TBS Championship. And I'm going to be going on a little bit of a rant about that. And if you guys don't like it, I'm sorry. But they need to stop. They need to stop doing that, and they need to honestly stop doing it as soon as fucking possible because we need to get actual championship stories in AEW. And the International Championship, I want that to be the workhorse championship of this company. It should be the workhorse championship of this company because that's what Orange Cassidy basically built that legacy upon when he was the international champion. And John Moxley is a great representative of that to be that workhorse champion. And we're still doing these open challenges. It's absolutely ridiculous. And don't even get me started on the TBS championship. The TBS championship to me means absolute jack shit. It means nothing to me. And that's not even a knock to Kris Statlander. Because Kris Statlander is absolutely one of the best women that they have on that roster. But when Tony Khan and the AEW roster, just continuously puts this championship in open challenges, it's not going to mean anything. It doesn't mean anything. And when the championship doesn't mean anything, we as the fans simply won't care. We as the fans simply won't care about the title, and we simply won't care about the champion that holds the title. So they need to get rid of the TPS Championship Open Challenges and the International Championship Open Challenges and really get those champions into stories. I understand Jon Moxley just became the International Champion legitimately a few days ago. So, it's gonna. He just started his reign. So I'm not gonna be shitting all over Jon Moxley because Jon Moxley is absolutely fantastic. And so is Kris. Kris Statlander is absolutely fantastic. But Kris Statlander needs to be in feuds. Kris Statlander needs to be putting that championship on the line in meaningful matches. And these open challenges aren't meaningful, especially when you have somebody against Emi Sakura. And nothing against Emi, but she's retaining the championship against Emi Sakura at the end of the day. And nothing against AR Fox, but obviously Jon Moxley just won the championship. So Jon Moxley was not losing the title tonight. The open challenges need to stop. And I am trying to do my best when it comes to, just not completely shitting on everything right now because these championships are great. The International Championship is an absolutely fantastic championship in AEW. It's the second biggest championship in the company. At least in my opinion, it is. And then the TBS Championship, I understand not everybody in AEW could be an AEW Women's World Champion. That's why they made the TBS Championship, to get a secondary Women's Championship in the company and give it to women like Kris Statlander, like the Jade Cargill before her. Many of the women in AEW can hold that championship. But, at the end of the day, we need stories for it. We need stories that involve championships. We need storylines that don't involve championships, like grudge match feuds, man. And we're not getting that. Maybe we're going to get that when it comes to Swerve and Hangman, because, they did their thing tonight, and they were fantastic. But it's just a matter of, getting these champions and getting these championships in meaningful situations. And that is what AEW really hasn't been doing as of late. And we need to start getting there. Because if you don't, you are going to lose the fans' interest. So that's my thought when it comes to that. But other than that, guys, it was not a bad show. By any means necessary, it was not a bad show. And we're going to go over everything that happened tonight on AEW Dynamite, because AEW Dynamite tonight was honestly a really good show. With the in-ring action, the promo stuff was absolutely great between everybody. I didn't even mention anything about Samoa Joe and MJF, and they fucking killed it tonight in their thing. So we're going to talk about that. We're going to go over this AEW World Championship Eliminator Tournament that'll culminate at AEW Grand Slam in an AEW World Championship match, as MJF will be defending his title at Grand Slam in New York in about 2 weeks' time. I will be there. I'm going to be buying my ticket later on this week. So that's going to be absolutely fantastic. I'm going to get to go to the third consecutive AEW Grand Slam in Arthur Ashe Stadium. It's going to be awesome. So that's fantastic. And we're going to just continue on as we go through here. As we go through things here on the AEW Dynamite post show right here on OTB. So guys, hit the like button, turn on the bell for all notifications. Make sure to subscribe to the channel. And it's always a fun time over here on OTB. You guys absolutely are the reasons why OTB still exists on episode 417. So guys, we're not stopping anytime soon. Love you guys, and we appreciate everything that you do for us here at OTB. Go down to the link in the description. Follow me on social media: TikTok, Twitter, Instagram at @PhillyMount_. Go down into the link in the description for the WWE Shop affiliate link. The WWE Shop affiliate link is my personal link, but anything I get goes directly back to the channel. And finally, thank you to our sponsor, SeatGeek, for sponsoring tonight's episode and every episode right here on OTB. $20 off your first purchase using SeatGeek by using the code OTB at checkout. It's a great application you can get on your phone or just use it on the interwebs. Green means good, red means bad. You always got to go for the green dots because those are the best deals. They grab all the ticketing prices from every ticketing website to make sure that you know you are getting the best deal. And they do it based on their own like pricing chart and everything like that. So 10 obviously means it's a great deal. But if it's in the 1 or the 2 or the 3 range, it's not really that good of a deal. So you got to look for a different seat. So go for the green, not the red, and save $20 off your first purchase using SeatGeek by using the code OTB at checkout. Thank you, SeatGeek, for being a part of our family. We love being a part of yours. Let's get right in to AEW Dynamite tonight, right here on OTB. All right, y'all. So, I gotta get to my notes here. There we go. All right. So, Pyro kicks off on another, for another Dynamite here. And we have the former international champion, Orange Cassidy. He makes his way to the ring. Days removed from losing the championship to Moxley at All Out. The former champion looks beat up, as all beat up, but he's still calm and collected as he enters the ring with a microphone to chants of freshly squeezed from the crowd. This turns into thank you orange chants as the chant seems too stunned to speak after saying hey, and Orange Cassidy follows by thanking the fans and saying they told him to stay home. But he said, nah, I'm not going to do that. Championship or no championship, he will be here every single week because he is freshly squeezed Orange Cassidy and he does not have a catchphrase. Orange Cassidy sets the microphone down before leaving the ring, heading up the ramp when suddenly Wild Thing plays on the PA system to signal the arrival of the new AEW International Champion for the opening contest. We get a split screen of a replay from All Out. Jon Moxley heading to ringside, and Orange Cassidy is still walking up the ramp as the new champion comes to the ring. Cassidy then finally heads towards the stage as AR Fox makes his way to the ring next to challenge Moxley for the championship as we get this International Championship Open Challenge underway. And Jon Moxley had a very good match against AR Fox. This is really good. Really, really good stuff here. But I do want to give Orange Cassidy his props here real quick before we get into the final sequence of the International Championship match with Jon Moxley and AR Fox. Orange Cassidy did a fantastic fucking job as the International Champion. He really made that championship an important title within the company. And not a lot of people gave him credit for what he did when it came down to the International Championship. A lot of people found his championship reign boring. A lot of people found his championship reign to just be, dragging on, and it just did not mean anything. It meant a lot. It meant a lot to the championship, and it meant a lot to Orange Cassidy, because, Orange Cassidy could have always went, in the ring. He's a fantastic professional wrestler, but not a lot of people actually show him to be that, Not a lot of people actually say that Orange Cassidy is a great wrestler, and if it wasn't for that main event at AEW All Out, still probably a lot of people would say that he is not a good professional wrestler. If you don't think he's a damn good professional wrestler after what he did against Jon at AEW All Out, you're fucking crazy. And honestly, you need to get your brain examined because he did a fucking fantastic job in the main event of AEW All Out. From a pay-per-view that honestly didn't even look all that great on paper, it turned out to be one of the best shows of the entire year. So, put some respect on Orange Cassidy's name because he deserves it, and he was a great international champion, and he made that championship the workhorse title, the second most important championship in AEW. And now Jon Moxley as the new AEW International Champion. He is going to continue on that workhorse legacy that Orange Cassidy built for this championship. And it's going to be a great reign for Jon Moxley and the International Championship. And whoever pins Jon Moxley to win the International Championship next, he's going to be a made man. Whoever that is. Jon Moxley's going to have a very good reign as International Champion. And I cannot wait to see what they do when it comes to Jon Moxley's reign as International Champion. And man, oh man, it's going to be an awesome thing to see. So strap in, people, because this International Championship is just getting started when it comes to it being the workhorse title of AEW. It's going to be awesome. And I can't wait to see what they do from here on out. But on to this match with Jon Moxley taking on AR Fox. So the champ catches Fox, was surprised as he rolls into a Kimura before laying in some hammer elbows and the King Kong Lariat. Death Rider follows up by Mox and a pin of 1, 2, 3, and that is a successful title defense by Jon Moxley, and he retains the International Championship. Obviously, the match isn't that quick. Guys, if you guys are new here, I do the final sequence of the match, and that is how we just go through the matches here on all shows, whether that be Monday Night Raw, AEW Dynamite, Friday Night SmackDown, Collision, basically anything. So I go through the final sequence of the match, and that is how we go through there. But yeah, very, very good match between AR Fox and Jon Moxley, as Jon Moxley is going to continue on that legacy for the International Championship. Mox and Claudio leave through the crowd as Darby checks in on AR Fox, raising his arm as a show of appreciation. Before we see Nick Wayne still backstage, confronted by Christian Cage and Luchasaurus. Cage runs down Nick Wayne's father before offering to be a true mentor to Nick Wayne before he and the TNT champion walk off. So, we are back at ringside, and Kris Statlander is making her way down to the ring for the TBS Championship Open Challenge against Emi Sakura. When we came back from commercial break, Emi made her way to the ring, and we got to the match right here. So, Sakura climbs to the top turnbuckle, but is intercepted with a facebuster by the champion, who follows up with a discus lariat, and then the Wednesday Night Fever, or Big Bang Theory for the people that really know what that move is called. And 1, 2, 3, that is it. TBS Championship was retained by Kris Statlander. And like I said earlier, guys, these open challenges just need to stop, because Jon Moxley was always going to retain against AR Fox. Kris Statlander is obviously going to retain against Emi Sakura. We need to get these champions in actual championship feuds, in actual meaningful championship matches, because at the end of the day, these championship matches are meaningless, and we don't need to have meaningless championship defenses on AEW programming. I'm sorry, but that is the absolute God-honest truth. And I really don't think anybody's going to be disagreeing with me on that, but it is what it is. So, we saw a video package of Rodrick Strong alongside the Kingdom talking about the business and how much he wants to win the AEW World Championship Eliminator tournament that'll culminate at Grand Slam in a championship match. Back at ringside, Don Callis heads to commentary to watch the next match before the Sex Gods head to the ring, eager to prove themselves as a tag team against the former Ring of Honor World Tag Team Champions, Aussie Open. And, they made their way down to the ring, and we have the Sex Gods and Chris Jericho and Sammy Guevara taking on Aussie Open and Kyle Fletcher and Mark Davis. Fuck Kyle Fletcher. If you know, you know. But yeah, really good tag team match here. The Los Sex Gods won this thing But here's how it all went down. Fletcher is frustrated as he lays in some punches onto Chris Jericho. Jericho then starts to fight back, but accidentally knocks Guevara off the ring apron. Fletcher rolls him up, but is sent before. But rolls him up, gets kicked out by Jericho, and then Jericho automatically hit a Judas effect for the win. 1, 2, 3. Kyle Fletcher sold the fuck out of that Judas effect, and the Los Sex Gods win this match. The arms of the Los Sex Gods are raised in victory, but Guevara throws his arm down after a couple of mishaps during the match between the two. This leads to a shoving contest between Jericho and Guevara, and staff ran down to basically separate the two. But Guevara ends up rushing out of the ring, leaving through the crowd, and Jericho reluctantly continues to celebrate the victory. They're not in good terms right now, Jericho and Sammy Guevara. Sammy Guevara and Chris Jericho, they're going to be doing something, and we all know they're going to be doing something. I think, it's all going to lead to something possible. Maybe we could get this at Grand Slam. I don't know if I want it to be that soon, to be completely honest with you, but, I was personally thinking we can see this at next All In, as Jericho's retirement match, but could this be a Grand Slam match? Let me know what you guys think, because, it could happen. It really could happen. So, in the end, though, it was a really good tag team match with Sex Gods and Aussie Open. It's definitely something that, you're going to have to keep an eye on when it comes to Jericho and Guevara's relationship. So, it's going to be very interesting to see what the tension brings next. So, there you go. We saw a video package of Ricky Starks Ricky Starks basically said he may have lost to Bryan Danielson at All Out, but he does not give up, and he never will. We also look back at All Out to see what happened between Samoa Joe and MJF, who looks to speak about that next on Dynamite. So we come back from commercial break, and backstage is Don Callis with Konosuke Takeshita and Renee Paquette. Alongside is a hidden easel as Callis hypes Takeshita as the next big thing, the next big dog, before promising to unveil his next target for Takeshita next week on Dynamite, which is displayed on the painting. Back at ringside, the AEW World Champion MJF heads to the ring to speak his mind about everything that happened at All Out. Max gets in the ring with the mic in hand, calling for his music to be cut, and the crowd chants his name. Indianapolis, the Devil has arrived in Hoosier country. When MJF is trying to make a name for himself in the independent circuit, he lived right here in Indiana. So, who's your daddy? The crowd let the champ know, much to the delight of his addresses, much to his delight, and he addresses All Out, where he and his bro Chacho, Adam Cole, defended the Ring of Honor World Tag Team Championships. He found out that he found out from the back by that Mark Tony Khan that he was going to have to defend his AEW World Championship on September 20th. Then he realized that September 20th is AEW Grand Slam in New York. So gear up, because nobody is on the level of the Devil. There's only one person in particular who needs to be taught a lesson, and Chance the incoming chants of Joe from the crowd. But before the champ could even continue, Samoa Joe makes his way down to the ring. And Joe heads right down the ramp, getting a mic in his hand before speaking up. Pardon the interruption, champ, but Joe heard some piss and vinegar just now. So now, since Joe is out here, Max is out here. So what seems to be the problem, kid? Max doesn't take being called a kid very well, but interrupted with the chance of Joe is gonna kill you. Before continuing, he says he understands Joe being confused, perhaps mixing up MJF's music with an ice cream truck. Joe then says that's good, but the last time he had anything to do with ice cream, it was as a star of the other company's network. So again, what's the problem, kid? MJF still does not take this very well, and he can be creative as well. Who wants to hear MJF get creative up in here? Hey everybody, it's the Pillsbury Joe Boy. No wait, that's Samoa Joe. Max then follows up with something a little harder to repeat on this recap. So he fucking went balls to the wall for that one. Something Joe retorts before saying Max's time with all these mouth breathers made him stupid. So, one more time, what is the problem, kid? Max yells, if you call me a kid one more time, I will knock your teeth down your throat. Max then quickly stops himself, realizing that the reaction to Samoa Joe, this is the reaction that Samoa Joe wants him to do, so he's gonna step back a little bit. But that's a whole realizing, so he wants him to cut a line. But there's a whole tournament he can wrestle in. The crowd chants an F-bomb to Joe, who tells them that they're starting to sound like their mothers, so calm down. MJF then offers up a story about the time, story for the crowd, and to get things back on track, bringing up his tryout with WWE and how he knocked it out of the park. He then pulled aside by a certain individual named William Regal, who said Max is, quote, too young, before ultimately blowing Max off. And we all know how that story ended, with Max knocking Regal out and sending him back to NXT, where he belongs. If Joe plays his cards right, he could be next. Max then talks about the time that he was set to be a security guard extra for a match in NXT. And, where he'd get to meet the great Samoa Joe, but Joe decided to take this 19-year-old kid and shove him into a brick wall, and he laughed about it. Let's be honest, Joe. We all know why you did that. Because we know how scumbags think. And Max knows because he is the fans' scumbag. Joe did it because Max was a kid. And because he could basically get away with it. But Max is not a kid anymore. He is a full-grown man, a generational talent, and the AEW World Champion. He is MJF, and he is better than you, and you know it. Joe then stops him real quick and points, and he says that point was a well-made one before running the champ down, and Max responded with a slap to the face, to the Ring of Honor World Television Champion. Joe then sees that for what it is, however, promising to run through this entire tournament to take on MJF. Until then, have a nice day. Maxon starts to leave the ring, but then all of a sudden he gets blindsided by Joe, who kicks the ropes, does a low blow, and the AEW World Champ is not looking good right now. Until the AEW World Champ MJF hits a low blow on Samoa Joe. MJF sends Joe in the corner, stomps him in the corner for a little bit. Then Joe catches him with a surprise Uranagi to damage more of his neck. Adam Cole then runs down to make the save with medical personnel to run down and check on the champion, who is checking out on the champion right now, and Joe is yelling, "What's wrong, kid? You don't look so good." From the stage, Staff checks on MJF, and he asks if it's worse than Sunday, saying his left arm is numb, and the staff helps him out of the ring. Joe then grabs the mic to run Max down some more, saying he can't promise he won't tear through him next time. The champ stands in front of him before finally heading to the back. Staff continued to help him Max walk up the ramp with Adam Cole, only for Rodrick to yell for Cole about caring about MJF's neck rather than his own. Strong and the Kingdom head down to the ring for Strong's match against Trent Baretta in this World Championship Eliminator tournament for AEW Grand Slam. So Trent Baretta made his entrance after a commercial break, and we got this match, really good match between Trent and Rodrick Strong. Rodrick Strong obviously won this match here with the end of Heartache, but this is how it really all went down. Okay. So yes, Trent drops Strong again and hits a pile driver for a cover, but Strong is able to kick out. Actually not able to kick out. He put his foot on the rope to break the count. Bennett cheers on Strong and tells Strong that Baretta is a fighter. He is a fighter, so you got to do whatever you can in order to get him down. But Strong fights through it before hitting a jumping knee and then an end of Heartache for the win. 1, 2, 3. The Kingdom are quickly in the ring to help. What's going on, Deontay? So they're quickly in the ring to put the neck brace back on Rodrick Strong, and they leave the ring and they head up the ramp after a graphic reminds them who he will face in the semifinals, that being either Darby Allin or Nick Wayne in tonight's main event on this Saturday's AEW Collision. So we're backstage. Renee talks to Tony Storm about what happened at AEW All Out, something that Storm can't seem to remember happening, before addressing the situation leading to the AEW Women's World Championship being defended at AEW Grand Slam. Storm simply says that we might get a sneak peek of what she wants to present next week, but until then, watch for the shoe. And Renee did not watch out for the shoe because she was about to get hit with a flying shoe once again by Tony Storm. And when I say, she just chucks the shoe at Renee, but she said it in the most perfect way possible. Chin up, tits out, and watch for the shoe. And then she just fucking chucked the shoe at Renee Paquette. So there you go. So we come back from commercial break, and Tony Storm is in the ring to talk to Hangman Adam Page. He won the over budget battle royal on the AEW All Out 0 hour, the pre-show, and because of that, he got to donate $50,000 to the charity of his choice. And Page talked about how everything that happened for that battle royal was for a good cause. And Page starts to address his future when Swerve's music hits, bringing out Prince Nana and Swerve Strickland a little over a week after what happened at All In the coffin match. Nana is dancing, doing the Swerve dance. And Swerve is just all business walking to the ring. Before they enter the ring, Nana takes the mic from Tony before hyping up Swerve, who talks about getting charity after being in a coffin for over a week and a half. He gets to thinking, and the first person he thought of was Hangman Adam Page. Talking about Page's history in AEW, including his run as AEW World Champion. He then talked about All In and the attendance record, as opposed to being on the pre-show last Sunday, and how he hasn't had new merch in over a year. He runs down all the things Page has been doing as of late before seeing Page can ride off into the sunset and let Swerve take that spot that he doesn't simply want anymore. The other option is Page can do whatever he needs to so he can prove he's still who he once was. We can fight for that spot, but fair warning, Swerve has zero empathy and will walk Page like a dog. Either way, Swerve is coming for that spot for Page that Page acts like he doesn't want. Page tells Swerve if he wants a match, he can go to the bank and get it and ask for it, but he is done with this shit right now. Page walks up the ramp until Swerve talks about his wife and kid, which riles him up, only for Hangman to get blindsided by Brian Cage, and Cage lays him out before the Mogul Embassy leave the ring, heading up the ramp, and after seeing their hard work pay off. So this was fantastic. I loved everything about this because Swerve Strickland and Hangman Adam Page is a match I easily want to see, and we could possibly be seeing this at AEW Grand Slam. I think that would be a perfect destination to do that match. And like I said, I was talking to some people on Twitter during the show, as obviously as I do when it comes to live tweeting the shows. And at first I thought this match was going to be happening at Full Gear. But this kind of just seems like a random Dynamite match to me. I don't think it would be a, full-on Full Gear type of feud, because Full Gear doesn't happen until November. So if you want to do something for Full Gear, that's cool between these guys. But I don't think it's, enough to really do anything. So I think doing it at Grand Slam is probably going to be the best bet. But yeah, I think a Grand Slam match between these guys would be fantastic. Swerve Strickland and Hangman Adam Page would do really, really well with each other. So I think it would be awesome to see that. And I'm very intrigued to see what they do from here on out, because I do believe it's going to be Hangman Adam Page versus Brian Cage on Dynamite next week. So that's going to be really cool to see, and we'll see where things go from there. I'm liking it. So there you go. So we're going to run down of the week to come, including the AEW World Title Eliminator Tournament matches, as a 4-way match to determine the next challenger for the AEW Women's World Championship, and much more. I believe the 4-way for the Women's World Championship is Tony, Britt Baker. I forgot. Let me see if I can find it on Twitter. Yeah, let me see if I can find it on Twitter. Yes, okay, so right here. So you got Dr. Britt Baker, DMD, Hikaru Shida, Nyla Rose, and Toni Storm. And the winner will face Saraya at AEW Grand Slam for the AEW Women's World Championship. So that should be pretty good. And we'll see where things go from there. Obviously, Toni Storm is probably going to be the one that has the most, it's the most logical, explanation to get that. So we'll see where it goes. Definitely see where it goes. All right, and now we got our main event. Darby Allin, Nick Wayne for the Grand Slam and Eliminator Tournament quarterfinals. This was fucking insane. And I loved every single second of this. So, Darby gets Nick back up, only to get caught in a submission hold by Nick, only for Darby to escape and block Nick Wayne's, springboard cutter for a near fall. Another trade off of near falls into a code red for another one. And now Darby got Nick locked up in, he basically locked both Nick Wayne's arms up, and he's stomping the back of Nick Wayne's head in like a curb stomp style. And the referee basically just said, screw it. I got to call for the bell. It's basically referee's discretion. And Nick Wayne could not respond, so the referee called for the bell. And Darby Allin advances in the World Championship Eliminator Tournament for to end the show. So that was great. That was awesome. And what I really liked about the whole thing is that it was champion versus it was mentor versus student. It was the whole thing there. Darby Allin was with Nick Wayne here. Nick Wayne main evented in AEW Dynamite at the age of 18 years old. That's fucking incredible for the kid. And who better than to do it with than your mentor, your teacher, the person that basically got you into professional wrestling in the first place, the person that got you into the business, than your mentor and Darby Allin. Perfect person to do this match with, and it was a great opportunity for Nick Wayne in this World Championship Eliminator Tournament to begin with. He lost. There's no doubt about that. He lost this match. But I always say this, and I feel like it's reigned true for a ton of situations as of late. You don't have to go over to get over. He got over in that match tonight against Darby Allin in that main event in the quarterfinals of this World Championship Eliminator Tournament for Grand Slam. He fucking killed it tonight. Darby Allin did fantastic. Nick Wayne did fantastic. That was a great main event for AEW Dynamite tonight. And now we're going to get Darby Allin versus Rodrick Strong in the semifinals. And it's going to be really, really good to see. I think that's going to be awesome. And honestly, I think Rodrick Strong is going to be in, the finals of the tournament. And we'll, show you guys the bracket at the end of this here. And I'll give you guys my full predictions. But, it's that's actually a really unpredictable matchup there, because you don't know. I mean, Darby Allin's fantastic. So Darby can actually get this thing. I'm pretty sure it's going to be Rodrick Strong. So really, really good main event there. And, without further ado, let's get into this tournament bracket. And I'll give you guys my full predictions for this Grand Slam World Championship Eliminator tournament for AEW Grand Slam that happens in 2 weeks. So, you're going to be not seeing me, but you guys still hear me. So, here we are. Obviously, Rodrick Strong defeated Trent Baretta earlier on in the night. Darby Allin beat Nick Wayne in the main event of AEW Dynamite tonight. On Rampage on Friday, we're going to have the other 2 quarterfinal matches for this tournament. We got Penta El Zero Miedo and Jay Lethal, and then Samoa Joe takes on Jeff Hardy. I have Penta El Zero Miedo going over Jay Lethal on Rampage, and obviously Samoa Joe, after what we saw against Joe and MJF tonight, Joe is going to beat Jeff, and he will advance to that Collision show. On Saturday, we'll be getting those semifinal matches. It'll be Darby Allin and Rodrick Strong on Collision on Saturday, and from my predictions, it could possibly be Penta and Joe on Collision this coming Saturday. We'll see who wins those matches on Friday, obviously, for Rampage. But out of that, I would have Samoa Joe go to the finals, which happens next week on Dynamite, and Rodrick Strong happens to beat Darby. That's just what I would think. And go to next week's Dynamite for a Rodrick Strong versus Samoa Joe final. And Samoa Joe beats Rodrick Strong in the finals next week on Dynamite to go to AEW Grand Slam in 2 weeks to face MJF for the AEW World Championship. That's how I think this tournament's going to go down. It's going to be a really, really interesting tournament to see where things go, but that's how I see it. We're going to have Samoa Joe versus MJF at AEW Grand Slam for the AEW World Championship, and it's going to be absolutely awesome to see. So guys, that's going to be it. That's going to be it for your AEW Dynamite post show right here on OTB tonight. I know it's less than an hour, but honestly, this show was very, very good. And, you know, you don't need to really do much filler to, talk about things when, the show really flowed well tonight. And it just was a really, really good show. So, I'll talk to you guys later on in the week. We'll see you guys on Friday for the Friday Night SmackDown post show on OTB. And until then, I'll talk to you guys later. Have a good rest of the night. Stay safe. God bless. And peace. Make sure to hit the like button. Follow the channel if you haven't already. Turn on the bell for all notifications and subscribe to the channel. Peace.